Welcome to the Rip 28 podcast. This is the Rip 28 podcast. It's a podcast where friends get together and we talk about a few things. Now, some of those things you might like, some of those things you might not like, but we keep on talking about them on the Rip 28 podcast. I am your extremely attractive host, Slider Sports Guy, joined by a few of my good friends. You know, as always, we start off with the president. What's going on, El Presidente?
What's up, good people? See Nez in the building as always, man. We're finna get it popping. I don't know why we keep letting Sly get away with talking about he handsome and good looking and all that, but you know, we're gonna let it slide, I guess.
Hey man, that's what the women say, man. You read the comments. The comments, they always say the same thing. They say, oh damn, that Sly is he is just so fine. Hey man. That's what the people say.
I thought I heard him say chance of making dance.
That's what the people say. Well, we got to talk about your favorite coach's favorite coach. What's going on, LBZ?
What it do, man? It's BZ the GOAT, your favorite coach, here to get it in with the guys. Once again, let's get it.
Well, check this, man. Hey, something about the Rip 28 podcast, man. Something about the Rip 28 podcast. We are everywhere. You know, BZ, what we tell them all the time. BZ, we tell them all the time, man. We're everywhere. Everywhere you want to check out a podcast, everywhere you want to check out a podcast, we there, BZ. Am I right?
Twitter, Facebook, Apple, YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts. I mean, it ain't no reason. There's no reason you should be missing out on the Rip 28 podcast, man. It ain't no reason. Whether you're driving, sitting, working, doesn't matter, man. We supply your needs. We supply this.
We everywhere. Y'all gotta stop just looking at that thing too. Y'all gotta subscribe.
Yeah, share it, man.
Share. Tell somebody. Well, check this, man. The reason I'm telling you we're everywhere is because we have a huge international following. We're followed around the world, man. We're followed around the world. And what we like to do, you know, we want to increase black and brown relations. We want to increase black and brown relations. So our Latino following has been demanding that we bring this man on. They say, hey man, we need somebody to represent the culture. We need somebody there for the culture. So we had to go and find the coolest Latino we know. One and only Mr. Last. What's going on, Last Moran?
Hey man, what's going on? This is Last, full name Lázaro Marín, but you can call me Last. And I'm the ghost of Zapata. For those who know, this is Zapata right here. And you know, I'm out here just trying to come here to the podcast and see what we're gonna do. You know, trying to figure out how to flow through this whole thing.
Give the people what they want.
Yes, sir.
we have no idea.
The baddest Latino in the 404.
Is that El Chapo?
Oh no, man. No. Stop it, man. Come on, I already told you not to tell that in public. Don't be talking about that in public.
Well, we have no idea. You know, we try to figure stuff out as we go along, but you know, we don't want to slip up and put our support behind the wrong thing without fully researching it, like somebody we know out in the world. The one Mr. Kyrie Irvin, man. Apparently young Kyrie retweeted the screenshot of the title of a movie that's out there, and apparently this movie talked bad about the Jewish people. So now Tyree has caught a whole lot of hell for that, and they forced over. He said he wasn't gonna apologize, but they forced him to apologize, man. What y'all think about that?
Well, it just needs to slow down, man. Like, dude, I know you heard about the thing talking about shut up and dribble, and I don't believe in that. But this dude just needs to shut up. Like, I just play ball, man. Dog, you cold. one of the coldest players ever, to play basketball, man, but you can't stay out your own way, man. It's like you do not have to put all this stuff out there. Like it seemed like he trying to wreck his career or something like that. I'm like, man, if it's that important to you, quit basketball and go be I don't know.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King, Malcolm X type dude. That's what
it's like first the earth is flat and now this, right? Remember he used to say that?
Look at everything. He said look at everything. He'd be like, this dude crazy, man.
But
he's a good baller.
But the thing about Kyrie, though, he don't get a lot of credit for this, man. Kyrie has always been a real generous guy, too, though. He's always been on the front line of helping people. I remember when the WNBA, during the COVID thing, Kyrie pledged, I think, $5 million.
500,000.
No. It wasn't no 500,000. It was in a million. It was a million. It was either 1.5 million or 5 million to help WNBA to underwrite. It might have been 1.5 million.
Let's look that up.
Google is our friend.
Yeah, Google our friend.
We don't want to put nothing out there that's not that we can't stand behind statistically.
Bro, we do this shit every week, bro. We do this shit every week. Bro.
Hey, we ain't scared to be wrong either.
Yeah,
bro. We'll say some misinformation in a minute.
But Kyrie,
we gotta have a disclaimer over here from some other podcasts that I listen to, where they say, everything we say is based on ignorance. And that way, you can build up from there.
Well, we just say that for slack. We don't really say that for everybody.
it is what it is.
Hey, what it is.
But anyway, he did donate some money to the WNBA to help underwrite them. He done donated money to other charities and stuff. And I'm talking about big money. I ain't talking about just little money. So he does put his money. He put his money behind where, put his mouth where his money is or whatever.
You're right. There we go right there.
So,
Kyrie Irvin, 1.5 million.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I know he put some money out there.
That's pretty good though, man.
Yeah.
To pledge 1.5 to help somebody else, that's pretty cool, but you still, I guess they say you still can hurt people with your words. So you have to choose your words carefully, even though you're doing a great job in the community.
But here's the problem with that, with what happened with Kyrie. Kyrie actually didn't say anything though.
Yeah, but you can say a lot with that retweeting and all subtweeting and all that too. You know what I mean? The appearance it may not be reality, but you find yourself caught up in.
But it's like all these people. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Lance.
No, I was talking about like all these people in 2016 that you started going to their Facebook and you knew that they were supporting a certain person, and you're like, all right, so you like that by association. You don't necessarily have to be or say you are, but it's like, all right, so I see where you're coming from. You
ain't gotta say it, but you show your colors.
You wearing that red hat, it's like, oh, okay, so you want me out. All right, cool. You know what I'm talking about? And there's people that you work with every day, you don't even think about it. So, I mean.
Yeah, you're right, man. I lived in Arkansas for a long time.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people true colors.
There.
When somebody got elected into being a president.
Yeah, but they can't mess with El Real Presidente Chancellor in the house, so you don't even worry about it.
Yeah, they don't know who the real president is.
For sure.
But here's something else though. Everybody talking about boycotting Kyrie and suspending Kyrie, but ain't nobody saying nothing about Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos and Amazon, the movie that Kyrie was tweeting or the movie Kyrie was talking about, it's available on Amazon. It's called From Hebrews to Negroes. From Hebrews to Negroes.
Negroes, yeah.
Yeah. So that movie is available on Amazon if you want to check it out and buy it and see what it's about. But the thing is like if this movie's so bad, it's so evil, why is it still available on Netflix? Why? I mean, not Netflix. Why is it still available
Prime
on Amazon? So
probably because of making money for people watching.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It affects the bottom line.
I know the sales done went up now since all
Kyrie said something about it.
Yeah, since Kyrie said something, man. So you know the sales went up. So I'm pretty sure the dude who made the movie, that brother's happy.
Yep.
That brother happy. He making a little bit of money. You know what I'm saying?
What they talk about, the algorithms. The algorithms went up, or whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess they say any publicity is good publicity, huh?
Yeah, that's how it go, and
That's true.
Yeah, but I just don't. I understand, man. If you go and you talk some shit about a people, you need to, you need to suffer the consequences for talking shit. But the thing is, though, it's like when you say something about a Jewish person, the way that community reacts and everybody comes together and have each other back. I really wish black people was like that. I don't know about the Latinos, but I really wish black folk could have each other back the way Jewish people have each other back. Maybe, life wouldn't be so hard for us if we did.
Right. Yeah. We can't have our backs. We not even amongst Mexicans have our backs. It's like, all right, when you meet a Mexican, you're like, all right, what part of Mexico you from? And they depending on where they tell you they're from, it's how you're gonna react. Because it's different states, different regions, whatever. So I wish we could be like that too. When somebody says a comment about Hispanic, Latinos in general, but the reality is that all of us are like so mixed and so apart from each other that sometimes we don't really care. It's just like, all right, whoever said that, we don't care. I'm just here trying to just, feed my family, forget about it. Don't get any drama.
So you're saying ain't much difference between that.
Not really. And matter of fact, I think it's more difficult for having like a voice of a Latino in America than anything else. Because like I said, because it's so diverse, like the Caribbean Latinos, the Latinos from Central America, the Latinos from South America, Mexicans, it's always different. Like even if you tell a Mexican like, oh man, you're from Guatemala, and they get mad, I'm like, don't get mad. Guatemala was like part of Mexico at some point. So, it's just don't make no sense.
I had a real learning experience from my kids actually, and I was talking to one of my kids and I said, "Hey," I was like, they play sports and everything. I was like, "What's that Mexican girl that's on your team?" She was like, "That's racist." She was like, "She's not Mexican. She's Hispanic." I was like, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I thought she was Mexican, but you really got to take into account that." All Hispanic people are not from Mexico. So, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I learned something that day. It was innocent. I thought she was Mexican. It was my bad. Yeah. Just I guess, assuming.
But the fact of assuming that is a kind of like a cuss word, don't make any sense. Well, I was telling you, like on an Office Space, when the guys is not Office Space, the Office, the series, there's a Mexican guy that's gay, whatever, whatnot, right? And they're like, oh, do you prefer another term other than Mexican? It's like, Michael, I'm Mexican. And then Michael's like, oh, okay, I understand. No, you don't understand shit. He's just saying
it. Hey, but you know what the biggest problem was?
Huh? Now, I think one thing I have learned, growing up is kind of like, when you make these assumptions, like, you assume you see a Latino person in California, you assume they Mexican. You see a Latino person in Miami, you assume they Cuban.
Right.
You see a Latino person in New York, you assume they like Dominican or Puerto Rican.
Right.
You see a Latino person in South Carolina, you just assume he lost.
You were like, how you get here, bro?
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you like a good friend of mine told me. I was like, so it was like a Latino, black, and it's like you're just confused, man. You'll find your own spot. Don't worry about that. You're just confused. No, but I feel you what you're saying. Yeah, like Texas, you could say it's Mexicans too. You know what I mean? The border, but definitely like see Latinos, you say all right, Mexican. But like if you see like you talk about somebody like Oregon, you were like, okay, like I don't know. There's Latinos in there, it's kind of hard.
But the biggest problem with what Kyrie said is that the commissioner is Jewish.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That guy Silverman.
I almost said David Stern, but
Yeah,
Silver, Adam Silver.
Adam
Is
Silver.
it? I did not know that. That's a good
Wow.
point.
Yeah, he's Jewish, and that's why you know, I'm not saying it was frowned upon more, but you know, when he's the commissioner, the head honcho, and you offend his culture, of course there's going to be a lot of backlash and some kind
That's
of
right.
repercussion, you know.
He gonna be out for a while too, because I saw the stipulation for him to come back. It was like 500 community service hours. He had to donate to ABC. He had to do some other things.
They turned down his $500,000.
Well, no. It was still something. They said he had to donate $5,000 to some type of racial
Charity or
charity.
something.
Yeah, the anti-defamation league, they turned down his money.
Yeah, I heard that. They was like, yeah, he didn't really mean it. No, like, you know, that's messed up. And like, if you gonna say you're sorry, man, if you're sorry, go ahead and say it, man. Don't be too proud. But I don't know if he was sorry for real, because he only said he was sorry after Nike dropped that ass.
But a lot of all of this that happens is mostly more than a racial thing. It's a class thing. It's classism. Like you said, the Jews, how they will get how they would get together and stop this type of comments, Jewish community. And like he's trying to give money to them and they don't really want that money. If it had been a Latino or another community, they'd be like, all right, give us that money and you're good. Just keep doing what you're doing. Actually, go ahead and offend us again if you will, but just make sure we get that cash.
Hey, check this out. The Rip 28 podcast. We ain't turning it down.
Like you talking about cash.
We ain't turning it down. Go ahead. Cash app us. $Rip 28 podcast. $.
And it's always open.
28 PODCAST. Go ahead.
And it's always open.
Always
no matter
open.
What time of day, evening or night, make it ching-a-ling-a-ling.
We'll take it.
We'll take it. We ain't turning it around.
We're gonna make sure your money go to a good cause.
A good cause.
Oh, yeah. A great cause.
A good cause.
Yeah.
Check this out, man. Check this out. I know we talking about basketball, man. We was talking about professional basketball, but we want to move it down quite a few levels, man. Quite a few levels. Instead of the pros, man, we want to talk about the youngins. This is something that came up on our timeline. One of our Facebook friends, one of the followers of the Rip 28 podcast. I'm not gonna put a name out there.
We ain't asked for permission.
Yeah, once again, we're a national show. We're international. Show. We're an international show, so we just gonna put the clip of what she said. It says, maybe you sport gurus can help me understand this. Is it normal to have 4 cuts in middle school basketball? I guess the coach accomplished the assignment of 7th and 8th graders, but your team consists of 2 7th graders and 13 8th graders.
Exclamation mark.
My kid never stood a chance in my eyes. We feel robbed, but the grind won't stop. Is this normal? We gonna start off with the coach in the house. LB's coach, head coach of a basketball team. You saw what she wrote, Beezy. Is this normal? Was her kid robbed? I mean, what you think? Now I got something I got to say.
Well, I won't. I would never say he or she was robbed. I'll say it all depends on how many kids you have out for the tryout, depending on how many cuts. Because it's impossible to say if you got 30 kids that you could individually see every kid. So you try to give the ones that, you know, that may be able to help you, you try to give them a chance. But at the end of the day, every coach is going to pick the players that he or she feels fit their system best. And us parents, we have to get out our feelings about they did my kid wrong, he or she was mistreated. No, we weren't mistreated. We got to hold our kids accountable and get them better on that level.
That's facts. That's facts. What about you? Now, Chance, you used to coach. Chance, you used to be a head coach. In middle school, you used to coach in middle school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, like seriously, like, you think if that kid was good enough to help me, I'm not gonna pick him on my team. So I'm like, hey, okay, so say you got a 7th grader and an 8th grader that are almost exactly the same as far as being a good player. You gonna keep the 8th grader off the team, or you gonna keep 7th grader? You know what I'm saying? So I'm probably gonna pick the 8th grader. Now if it's varsity, like I've had this conversation, I guess, with you guys a couple times. I know I've had it before. Like on a varsity team, I don't believe in 11th graders being on a JV team. Like if you ain't good enough to make the varsity team, then your career over unless you make the team next year. You know what I mean? So it's like 7th grade, go back play rec league, get better, and come back next year. I mean, you're gonna have most of the 8th graders on that team if it's a 7th, 8th grade team. So
yeah,
and for you to make team, you gotta be special. Like, do you want to be a 7th grade on the team that don't get no playing time? Like, you want to sit the bench the whole time? Like, if you're in 7th grade, I mean, you get in that game.
Yeah, what I was trying to say here is the lack of character that the mother is influencing on that kid is just awful. Because why would a mom go out there online and be like, oh, my son? No. Like that kid need to go back and watch Michael Jordan Playground from the 90s, where that kid that played Kane in Menace to Society is shooting a rock and can make a shot, right? And then it's like, oh, I bet you Michael Jordan didn't even get cut. And then Michael Jordan all of a sudden appears on the picture. Just teach him all the knowledge. That is just Nietzsche. Like this Nietzsche knowledge about how to actually succeed and better yourself is right there on that video. Just go on YouTube and watch it, lady. Give it to your kid, and you have to hustle again and try again. And if it's good enough, it's going to get picked next season. But you can't have the mom go out there like, oh, my son. That like I said, man, that to me is lack of character. And the kid right there is suffering the most. Yeah, that's why he need a father figure, a father structure that will be like, shut the hell up, work on your game, come back here next year and make it. And if you don't make it, it's fine. At least you gave it your all. That's what I think.
Hey,
that's why I'm not a coach, man, because you can't be slapping kids around.
check this out, man. For me, when it comes down to this right here, you got to put yourself in that coach's shoes. That coach got 60 players out there, 60 kids out there trying out for 15 spots on the basketball team.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, 15 spots on the basketball team is still hard to manage. That's hard. You get about 12. 12.
And the worst thing of that later in life turns into, oh, why it don't get no overtime? Why is she getting overtime and not me? Oh, why not getting that pay raise? Man, just work what you gotta do, and then eventually it'll come up. Yeah, don't go out there just like complaining. You know what I mean? But I mean, like I said, like that the coach though, like you said, like what's that, 60, 70 kids you gotta take care of? It's crazy.
Yeah, they look like they need 2 teams. They need 2 coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, you have your A team or B team or whatever, but I mean, it's only 15 people on the team, man. You gotta really show something to where they like, oh yeah, I want this kid on my squad.
Yeah, man, just work on it. Just work on it. That's what the kid got to do.
Well, check this, and this is my thing, man. The coach got 60 kids to pick. He got 60 kids to pick, and what he's gonna do, man. Well, we're looking in the comments. We actually got the person who wrote this is in the comments. We're gonna hit her up in her inbox in a little bit. She won't come on, but she is
the first time in the pod, and I already feel like I'm being crucified. Going to get crucified in a second.
She said it was 25 7th graders.
Yeah, 25.
I mean, and only 2 made it. I mean, man, that's tough, man. Like
that's tough team. That's tough team. It's a good team, right?
Like even if you are better in them tryouts, if you did not do better than the other 2, I mean, that's how it goes, man. You got to step up when time to step up. I mean, I know everybody think they kid the best, but you got to look at it from the outside eyes.
It's tough for a coach because when you're thinking about it, you want the best team possible. And when you're talking about middle school, you only have 2 years, 7th and 8th grade. So it's not like you have a whole lot of time to develop that kid into that player, young man, young lady into, this whatever you need or want them to be. So it's tough on the coach. Cut day is always tough. You try to put the list up and probably leave at lunch. Because that's when everybody gonna be looking for, Coach, why I ain't make it? Why I ain't make it? Well, you're trying to field the best team. And if you had 4 cuts, I'm sure it was a large number of players. And it's unfortunate.
Shit, she ain't waste no time.
Yeah.
All right, we gonna she's listed as royal daughter, so we'll leave her at royal daughter. This is actually the lady who wrote the post that we're reading.
I gotta go. Hey, I gotta go get something to drink. I'll be right back.
Don't run.
I'm out. I'm out.
So you ain't gotta ride, man. You ain't gotta ride.
But
just don't get nobody my address, Chaz. I'm out.
But we gonna give you a chance to go ahead and jump in and let's pull up exactly what you wrote. But yeah,
I'm here. How y'all doing?
All right, how you doing, Royal?
I'm great.
Now you are a little bit disappointed that your son did not make the 8th grade squad. I mean the middle school squad, and you wrote this post right here. And I think what we're all basically saying is it ain't really. We don't feel you were robbed. We don't feel that you were robbed. It just may be a fact, and it might sound cruel. But as a 7th grader, I think we all kind of feel that your son probably just wasn't good enough this time. He wasn't good enough, and this coach got to pick 15 people out of 60 people, and those 8th graders are going to get the preferred slots. The 8th grade, it ain't no doubt the 8th grade is going to get the preferred slots, and for him to be in 7th grade, he has to be really, really, really good.
Right. He has to compete. He has to be competitive. He has to hold it down and make himself noticed. So what me and my son, what we have done in preparation of 7th grade tryouts, he plays red ball, he plays AAU. Anytime he can get an opportunity to have his hands on the ball, it is. I'm that mother that I am his ride or die, his number one supporter, his chauffeur, his mentor, his coach, because I'm also on the court with him, passing the ball to him, working on his shot. Nothing is given to you in this world. And that's the number one thing I tell my son. You got to work for everything that you want in this world. No one's going to give it to you. So rather than not my son or someone else's son actually made it or didn't, my point was, or my feelings were, I just felt as if none of the 7th graders actually stood a chance. After speaking with my son, there was so many things that he did reveal to me, as such as they didn't compete. The 8th graders were already, on the court as if they knew they had their spot, which I'm not mad at that. And which I have also come to understand is that, for the 7th grader who didn't make it that last year, now it's their opportunity. So that makes sense to me. But when I'm seeing it done at other schools who are just as large as my son's school, it just raised questions as to why wasn't he also able to have at least 4 7th graders to make it balanced? Even the kids who didn't make it was like, even one of the children who made it was like, he felt as if the other kids didn't have a fair opportunity.
It ain't about being balanced. This don't get balance don't have nothing to do with winning. All right. It's about winning and putting the best product out there. And it's that coach's job to put the best team out there. So in your mind, he should have cut 2 of those 8th graders and brought up 4 more 7th graders. I mean, brought up 2 more 7th graders.
I'm not saying that's what he should have did, because I want whoever
should have had at least 4 7th graders.
Whoever's competing the best deserves a spot, 8th or 7th.
I think your argument needs to be that they need to have a 7th grade team and an 8th grade team.
Right, they do. Yeah.
And if that's the case, it'd be all good. But when it's a 7th and 8th grade team together, you got to deal with those consequences.
Right.
It sounds like you have 4 cuts, right?
They had 4
So
cups, right?
so that means he was really close to making that team. So I mean,
Yeah, he was.
That should give him some determination. Like, hey, I almost made this team as a 7th grader.
Right.
Down.
Now, trust and believe. There's no, he's not sad or we're distraught or we don't know how to move forward from this. It's a life lesson, and it's what you do from it. You know what I'm saying?
If I may say something real quick, if I was a kid, I just like some acknowledgement and respect from my family and some new Jordans, and that's all I need. I don't even make the team. If I'm the kid, because I've been there before. I'm chubby, I couldn't run, but I could shoot, right?
Right.
And every time I'm like close to like beat the best team in the league, in my hometown in Mexico, which by the way, it's not really good ballers. But it was like, hey, moms, I was close. You're like, okay, cool. Like, you did a good job. You did what you had to do. But then I had an uncle of mine that be like, you ain't shit. You can't play. You can't play. You ain't shit. I don't know what you're trying to play. I'm the one that can play. They see me when I walk in the gym and they know they can't beat me. But they see you and they know it can beat you through me. I'm sick of you. Like, you basically tell me, like, just retire. And so all of that was like, I'm retiring. I'm still playing. And I kept on playing. And I never really amounted to nothing, really. But I love the game. And like I said, some new Jordans. That's all I need. Just give me some new Jordans, Mom. That's all I need.
But Ms. Roy, on the real tip, it's good that you are helping your son, over this hurdle, because a lot of parents,
absolutely,
a lot of parents wouldn't know how to respond or rebound from this, and it could be detrimental to the kid.
Exactly.
So I am glad that you know how to handle it. You're taking it in stride, and I would like to say to your son, just keep going. Michael Jordan got cut in middle school. They told him he wasn't good enough. So just keep going, man, and keep your head up, and just know good things happen to those that keep working.
Absolutely.
So that's a good thing.
And another thing, if I may, is the RIP 28 pod. We could probably get this kid some gift card or Uber Eats or something.
We don't give shit to people who get cut.
His first time on the show, he giving away money.
You know what? Bring the kid in the pod so we can give him some positive feedback.
That's all right. Just double it up next year when he makes the team.
There you go. Next year. There you go.
You gotta make the squad before you get something from one.
Well,
now another thing, yo, you royal daughter. That means that you royalty. So you're the daughter of somebody there, king. So this kid is your prince. He gonna make it. Don't worry about that.
We're not worried.
Well,
we're
not
not worried.
Miss Roy, your daughter. I'll talk to you off air, but I do training myself. So if you want to make the team, just bring them by T2 training. We'll get him right. I'll get him right. And
connect with me. He has a training. He has a few guys in his life. You know what I'm saying? We're not short of anything. And God is first for us. So we good. We good.
Well,
he ain't got the
I'll tell you what.
I'll
tell you what.
He training folks to the pro.
Those guys that's in his life, they let him down. They let him get.
He ain't make the trainers you had. He ain't make the
team, so they failed. I'm missing this Roy, I'm teasing.
It's all good.
But here's my thing. Here's my thing, Tamara. And what?
No, you just said her name Royal.
No, it's all good. My name is Tamara. It's fine.
But here's my thing, and this is what I was worried about, and I'm glad you cleared up a lot of it. I was worried about the sense of entitlement, because what's going on with a lot of kids now, a lot of kids feel that, hey, I tried, so I should be on the squad. I'm supposed to be on the squad, and I wanted to make sure that you weren't pushing that entitlement. Hey, you're supposed to be on the squad.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I hate that mindset. I'm from the mindset of old school. You gotta work for anything around here. So no, nothing's, like I said, nothing's given to you. You gotta work for it. And that's what I definitely tried to instill in my kid. And I knew I was going to get crucified when I made the post, but I don't care because
you're not getting crucified.
Definitely not.
No, I know I have, because certain people have certain views, and it's fine, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted understanding. You know what I'm saying? And you ask questions for understanding. Because like I said, I am not a guru. I don't pretend to know everything, because I don't. Once my son told me he wanted to make it to the NBA, well, I'm all the way behind you. You give me 100%, I'm gonna give you 100%. We're gonna run with it.
I'm glad you said that, because it's one thing. Your boy in 7th grade.
Right.
but next year he might be 5 inches taller than he is now.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
Oh, it's going down. It's absolutely going down.
Don't worry about that. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
NBA is all about height these days too. So
Yeah.
if you ain't 6'3" or taller, it's gonna be hard for you.
Now, one
But
thing
that's
I
his,
love
you know,
that she
that's his
said
goal.
is,
But you know, whatever path is for him, it is for him. But if you're gonna give it 100%, whatever we do, you know.
Well,
Hey, I got kids that play sports too with me, and you know, I think they pretty good athletes and everything.
One
But
thing.
it ain't all about that. You got to make sure you do your thing in the classroom too.
That's
Make
right.
sure
That's
you
right.
get where you gotta
He's
go.
an A and B student. I don't accept no less.
Hey, and one thing I gotta say to Royal daughter is I apologize if I said something wrong by saying something about the self-entitlement or whatever.
Nah, you
But
said what you said. It's all good.
Nah, but
we don't
look, what I
apologize
mean
on the
is,
Rip Today podcast.
no, man, you gotta cut that from the pod, man. You gotta cut that from the pod. No, but the thing is, like what you said is key word right there is you're his ride or die. That's some solid stuff, you know.
Right.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. That
Yeah, man,
all in
definitely.
life, he got somebody he can depend on the rest of his life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey,
Absolutely.
so he gonna be successful in whatever you do.
And whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, speaking of getting cut, shout out to Leon Pitts. He online.
Oh man.
Hey
Oh,
man. Hey,
man.
but truth be told, shit, I got cut from the middle school basketball team. I did.
As you should.
I got cut, and that's the thing, man. I remember Coach Smith he had about 20 people on the goddamn team, man. He had a whole bunch. He had so many people. He ran out of jerseys and gave people T-shirts.
I'll tell you.
But
I'll tell you how I made a team.
He cut me. He cut me because I wasn't his favorite person in the world.
I'm gonna tell you how I made a team.
Y'all, hold on, Lamb, because we all know in one person on that team that I was definitely better than. That should have been cut for that middle school team.
I don't know who you're talking about. So.
Well, he's not seeing this because we're blocked, so he won't be seeing.
Oh man,
he won't be seeing.
Did you who that was from the get-go?
No, I didn't.
Stop lying.
Yeah, Chance knew who it was.
No, who else would Sly be better than in basketball? Now, come on, be for real.
But yeah, man.
Ain't many. That's why I ain't know.
But my thing is though, man, it's a tough job for the coaches, and I talk trash about that person, but I love that boy to death. I love him to death. That is, even though he get mad at me and he stay mad at me, I love him because, as a matter of fact, he a middle school coach right now, and so I'm pretty sure he dealing with the same issue. And I know because of his good heart, he probably one of them coaches who carry 30 people on the team too, because he got a real good heart himself.
Oh yeah,
but
no doubt.
But it's a tough position those are middle school coaches in, and you ain't gonna like this, Royal daughter. But I say this and I stick beside it 100%. A single mom or a mom is either the best thing that happened to your team or the worst thing that'll happen to your team. And I stick behind that 100%. So we just hope that you're gonna be the best thing and not the worst thing that happened to this squad.
Oh gosh, that's a good one. Definitely the best thing. You know, I'm not here to impede on anyone's progress or what anyone's doing. Like I said, I don't know it all. I don't know enough. Sports wasn't my thing prior to my son. So, you know, but what I am going to do is ask questions, and I'm his advocate, you know, and I need to know all the ins and outs of what's going on. You know, I'm his manager. I'm his marketing person. You know, this is the things I tell my son, you know, at this age and level, I'm the person that's making sure everything is moving for you. Without me, you can't get to none of your practices. You can't get to none of your games, you know? So, and I also want the coaches to understand that too, when it comes to like even travel ball. Without us, you don't have any access to the kids. So it's all a learning curve for everyone, the kid, the coach, the parent, and we're just as invested as anyone else when it comes to time. When I get off my 8 to 5, we're going to someone's gym, we're going to someone's practice, or if he has nothing, I'm taking him to the gym. I'm making sure he gets what he needs to be a successful athlete. And on the back end, You got to have A's and B's. You got to take the trash out. You got to clean your room. Things have to be done.
Yeah.
So
All
that's the
right.
kind of parent I am. I'm just
Well,
here to make sure my son has the best.
check this. We appreciate you jumping on and joining us and cleaning things
Absolutely.
up for us, man. Like I say on the Rip 28 podcast, we love to have the people here. We love to have the people. So we're gonna talk to you a little bit later, but
All right. I appreciate you guys.
thank you.
Make
Yes,
sure,
ma'am.
make sure
Y'all
you
take
share.
care.
Make sure you share now.
I will most definitely.
All right. Well, check this. A lot of stuff going on out there, man. I guess we don't have no real. That's a real good question right there. We should have asked that question, Bron. I ain't think to ask that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hell, this is a terrible transition, but fuck it. What about Takeoff? Takeoff, local rapper from the Migos,
Yeah.
was in Houston, and he was at a private party at a bowling alley. And then they say they were shooting dice or arguing outside, and Takeoff ended up getting shot twice and died. Takeoff, rapper from the Migos, dead at 28 years old. Damn shame. And you know, it's a lot of rumors and a lot of things going around. Nobody really knows the exact truth except the people who were there. And in the days that we live in now, everybody wants to go live. Everybody wants to jump in and tell their own story. Doing everything for clout. So I done heard a bunch of other people on Instagram and stuff saying that they were there. And the story that I'm gathering is that Takeoff wasn't even he wasn't even in the mix of everything going on. And he ended up getting shot. He ended up catching a stray bullet from somebody on his team. Called a stray bullet from somebody on his team. And the young man is gone. 28 years old, another rapper dead.
It was one of his partners?
Yeah, that's what that's the word on the street, is one of his partners shot him. One of his partners, according to Jay Prince released a statement talking about somebody was shooting with their eyes
Wow.
closed.
Sucks.
Hey, this stuff is just ridiculous, man. I'm like, one for me and him, he from actually the same county I'm from, and they were doing Amigos, they were doing some good things at their school, and I think they had an AAU basketball team, all kind of stuff, man. They was giving back to the community. But I'm like, you rapping, man, that don't mean you gotta actually live that life, man. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't the only one. You know what I mean? This stuff been going on for forever. Since Pac and Biggie.
Yeah, man. He like you said, he from Gwinnett. He from Gwinnett, man. That kid from the suburbs, man. He wasn't no thug. Well, I don't know what happened after he grew up, but where he went to Berkmar High School, man. He dude from the suburbs, man. He from the suburbs, and I don't know, man. It's just fucked up. They say his brother was the one who not brother, his uncle Quavo was the one who was arguing, and then a fight broke out, and that's what happened. This is what Jay Prince put out there. Jay Prince was saying something, trying to find it. It said, I will sum this up by saying a gun in the hands of any human that closes his eyes to shoot and doesn't have the proper skills of operating that gun is dangerous, and the results usually end with innocent people who had nothing to do with the altercation being shot or killed. So I guess according to Jay Prince, somebody was shooting with their eyes closed.
That sounds like the I Got Shot with Gangsta Legends from the Boondocks.
Yeah.
I got shot.
I got shot.
Oh, really? I got
Sorry, I
shot.
got shot.
Man, it's enough of that, man. Like we eventually we got to grow up, man, and stop putting ourselves in these situations to where somebody getting shot, man. Because it's too much of this. Like Chance say, this dates back to the East Coast, West Coast with Biggie, Pop. You see Pop Smoke. You see all these these young African American rappers being killed, man, before they even have a chance to live life. You know what I'm saying? 28 years old.
Yeah, I'm like, is this something they doing on purpose out here, man? Yeah, you know, these record labels and all that stuff, they like, all right, well, if he a real gangster, let me sign him. So then we sign this contract. But, you know, I know I ain't going to have to pay that contract out because he going to end up getting shot. You know, I done made me this money off his album for, 1-2 years, and then he going to do something, be in the wrong environment, and, I'm off the hook, but I done made this cheap. Who knows?
I talked to a friend of mine about this, a friend from California. Shout out to my boy. His name is Golden Cinco. And we were talking about this, and he's like, man, this is madness. And the thing they need to understand is, like, you need to leave the hood in the house. When you go out there to this event, you're not in your hood, just leave the hood, leave the hood somewhere else, because something's going to go down, And he's like, that's why when like Chicano rappers, Mexican rappers touring all over America, they don't pass a certain way. Like they go to Texas and back. You know what I mean? Like from rappers from California, they'll go to Denver, they go to Utah, they go to Texas, but they don't usually make it all the way here. For some reason, they just like, my hood ain't strong enough all the way over there. And the thing what happened with this situation is like you're saying, like he was a good kid and he went to a good school. He didn't have any need to get into this type of situations. But shit happened.
Yeah, it's a sad situation, man. It's a sad situation. But the thing is how do you avoid it, man? How do you avoid it? Because you look at certain things like technically they say Takeoff wasn't even involved. He was on the side. He was on the side. And you look at something like a P&B Rock. P&B Rock, when he got shot in L.A., he was just outside eating dinner with his old lady. And then a dude was in the parking lot and said, oh, well, let me go and rob him. So it wasn't like he was actively engaging in any type of beef like them Chicago dudes do. So it's like, how do you avoid this shit? You got this podcast, these guys over here.
Clowns. Let's just call them clowns.
and this is what I don't like. They're going to speak. Go ahead and play. And we'll talk while they play.
We never do this on this show.
But
when rappers get shot and killed, we hate
talk about the culture, but they're not a part of the culture. Go ahead and let it play. Let it play.
Is it? Do you hear the sound or not?
Yeah, you hear the sound.
Okay.
Hate it here, and it seems to happen every day.
well, now
real rappers
labels will go, hey, I'm a great rapper. Where are you from? And then the label will go, sorry. Hey, I'm a great rapper. The label will go, where are you from? We like your demo. Oh, I'm from fucking Bronxville. And they go, no, that's not working. Well, I'm from Yonkers. What street?
Oh,
and then you say the street, it's not dangerous enough, they just hang up the phone.
Yeah.
So now rappers are being chosen after they pass the initial.
They sell their catalog to the company
based
on
where they live,
and then hope they get killed.
See, this is my thing.
Let me just this guy's right here. This guy's Anthony Cumia. He used to be in one of the biggest radio shows with Opie and Anthony, where they had Patrice O'Neal in there as a habitual. And then this guy here is Gavin McInnes, and he's created the Proud Boys kind of as a joke. That's how it started. So their point of view, and they mocking what happens, not knowing what really it transpires. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Wanted to say something, guys.
Yeah, see, this is my thing. You got people from outside of the culture. You got people from outside of the culture, and they go and try to speak on the culture like they have some type of authority or some type of knowledge about it, when they have absolutely none. They know, first of all, record labels not going to anybody's hood and say, oh, you ain't being shot yet, or your hood ain't dangerous enough, so I ain't gonna sign you. The way record labels work now, man, if you got views and you got a following, they gonna go and sign you. They just trying to sign you. You know what I'm saying? In a perfect world, the record label don't want to sign a guy who gonna get shot next week. They ain't gonna
Yeah.
make no money. You know what I'm saying? They at least want to keep him around for a year or two. You know what I'm saying? So he can
For a tour, right? To go on tour for a year.
yeah, so they can get some money. So you got people outside of the culture having these conversations or saying these things. It kind of pissed me off, man.
Now, as the Latino point of view in this whole thing, right? Now that you're saying there was somebody from his entourage that actually pulled the trigger, there's a similar situation back with some rappers in Mexico that happened probably about 15 years ago, where a guy was having beef with another guy. So an external guy went ahead and told the big guy, like, hey, somebody trying to shot you, trying to get you. Now, the whole thing happened, and what happened at the end of the day is the guy that was warned, that was being on the lookout, you know, he shot to the floor and it hit the guy, it ricocheted and hit the guy that went ahead to warn him, like, hey, this other guy trying to get you. So I can see that happening, but this guy, like I said, I don't know, like everybody that heard what happened, this guy made a whole song about it. It's called Cartel de Santa. They have a whole song about it, about what happened. And it's very similar to the structure of the song that's called Somebody's Gotta Die by Biggie. So I'm thinking it's just all crap. They made it up. But bottom line is, it was a guy that was his friend that got shot and dead. And it was like, he explains that he shoots to the floor. Like, first of all, like, why would you shoot to the floor? Like, if you're going to shoot the other guy that coming to get you, you're going to shoot the guy, right? You're not going to shoot your friend. It's just some crazy stuff. And then it all transpires and it goes to like, oh, well, you know, they had to offer a life to the fame and this other occult type of thing that's going on. But what if this is what happened, like, you know, the guy that wasn't his own crew shot him, you know, it's a shame, and it just sucks.
People do mock other things that were successful, so that could definitely be the case, that, you know, they're trying to replace some stuff that, you know, they thought was popular back in the day.
Yeah,
they got a lot of clicks and likes.
And me being an enthusiast of hip hop, like, I can see when they making it up, or when they ripping like a hip hop song in English, and they just like translating it in Spanish. You see, so I don't know, man. It is a weird thing. I don't think it's happened in the Mexican hip hop community, to where like somebody gets shot like that, kind of like Tupac and Biggie. Definitely the competition aspect of it, of like one guy going against each other, sending diss tracks. It does happen all the time. But I mean, that is that's some crazy stuff anyway, you know.
All right, man. All right. Well, check this, man. We're getting close. We're getting close to that time, man. Now it's about time for us to take a walk down the 90s block. The 90s block, man. Now, lads, we're going to walk down the 90s block. What we do on the 90s block, man, we take, you know, two or three things from the 90s and compare it to something. Because we all, you know, kids born in the late 70s, early 80s. So that 90s was our golden years, you know, our early.
Most impressionable. We must impressionable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
MTV.
So this one, we want to get something from the beginning of the 90s, and this one from the end of the 90s. This is the great debate among black folk, lads. This is a huge debate among my people.
Boy, you ain't never lied.
Bro, a fight could break out on this shit any moment.
Oh, okay.
What do you choose? 1991's 5 Heartbeats or 1998 TV miniseries The Temptations? Which one?
Nah, 1991, definitely.
You say the 5 Heartbeats.
Yeah.
I like this. I wish.
What about you, President?
Hey, I'm 5 Heartbeats, 10 toes down, brother. Hey, that's one of my favorite movies for sure. I mean, Temptation was good too. I mean, but it wasn't the 5 Heartbeats. 5 Heartbeats my favorite movie.
For me, I'm out to agree with the president, man. I'm out to agree with El Presidente, man. Because my thing is, I'm gonna be honest. I don't trust you as a black person if you can't sing some of the 5 Heartbeat songs. I can't fuck with you if you don't sing the 5 Heartbeat. You know, when Eddie Kane hit that note when he comes sliding across stage in the beginning of the movie, if you don't sing like Eddie K, hey man, if you don't sing that note, I can't.
Hey, and then everybody feel that too. You know, we ain't got no money.
Man.
We ain't got no fancy car. We
No.
live the life of a millionaire, movie star.
No.
Hey, Chance, I was hoping, like, I don't know if I had the opportunity to be back in the pot, but I was hoping you can let me take you all the way back to the origin of hip hop. To the origin of the bottom.
We're gonna pause that one right now. We're gonna stay on the 90s block because I know where this one's gonna go. We're gonna be here. We gotta wrap this thing up. We'll be here all night.
All right.
We'll be here all night talking about it.
All right.
But what about you? What about you, BZ?
Man, you ain't gotta ask me that. You ain't gotta ask me, man.
You gotta ask.
You know it's the 5 heartbeats.
It's all about the 5
Come
heartbeats,
on,
man. It's all about the 5 heartbeats, man.
Eddie Kane Jr.
Y'all don't want old Eddie to sing with y'all? Oh, Eddie.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with the 5 heartbeats, homie. So check this, man. Hey, man, it's been another awesome episode of the Rip 28 podcast, man. Before we get out of here, we got some short parting shots. You got some parting shots. We always start off with the president. What's going on, El Presidente? What's your parting shot?
Man, hey, another good show, fellas. Hey, I enjoyed it, man. We had a good time. You know, just I got my daughter in 12th grade basketball season coming up, so you know I'm gonna be incognito doing all these games, man. It's going down by that time.
Shout out to Courtney. What about you, Beezy? Any parting shots for you, Beezy?
Man, less hate, more love, man. Less hate, more love.
And what about you, our esteemed guest, our consul?
Ah, man. El cónsul signs off. Saludo a todos los mexicanos que ven este show. And I mean, I just live life, man. That's all. Be free.
All right, man. We don't know what the hell he just said, but it sounded cool to the motherfuckers. So we gonna rock with it, man. Hey, it's been another great episode of the Rip 28 podcast, man. This is a podcast where a few friends get together and we talk about a few things. Now, some of those things you might like, some of those things you might not like, but we keep on talking about them on the Rip 28 podcast. And this is what I got to say for all you fellas out there trying to figure out how to please your lady and make her happy. Freedom! 2 in the feet, 1 in the stick. Love you. Freedom! Holla! See you later.
Ain't that how it is?
There it is. There it is.
It go like this. It go like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, y'all already know. Hope you understand I am not your enemy, nor will I pretend to be. I got these pals like Austin, so all I can see is a bunch of enemies. These people is killing me, really though, y'all some lame actors. On a ball and chain playing a slave master. Pray to Heavenly Father we remain bastards, but you can't pass us, and you can't assassinate. People probably hate the day I was born, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till my final form. Break backs, take a rapper by a spinal cord and split it in half, homie, now I'm bored. I did it without a sword.